So let's go.
We'll get underway with the official festivities of this. We're set up a little bit differently than last week, so I can try and use a little bit more Zoom magic in what we're doing here. So if I share a screen, you'll be able to see things, and that'll be useful. So we're going to begin with a little bit of a face warm-up, and here's a picture which is from the book, The SAVI Singing Actor. And again, I put that up here just to remind us of the muscles of the face, all the different muscles of the face. And I want to invite you to take a minute and just flex out all the muscles of the face. You see, I've numbered them there in groups, and see if you can take a minute and just address each one of those. Number one, the forehead, raising and lowering the eyebrows. Number two, that corrugator muscle in between the eyebrows that you engage when you scowl. Go ahead and give yourself a good fierce scowl and try to contract the eyebrows, bring them together. Number three, the nose. And number four, the nostrils, moving them, wiggling them around. Number five, the muscles above the eyes. And number six, the muscles below the eyes. You want to take a moment, you can squint. You can wink, you can open those eyes wide. Number seven, those are the muscles of the cheeks, the muscles that you use when you smile, and you can try moving them one side, the other side, both sides. Pull your face up into a bright smile and then let it drop. Pull it up again, let it drop again. Number 8 and 9, these are the muscles of the lips. Move them together or separately. Pull your upper lip up or your lower lip down, rub them together, wrap them around your teeth, pucker up with them to make a kiss, all of them. And then number 10, marked off to the side there, the jaw. Just swing the jaw for a moment like a Muppet and say, ma, 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 ma.
And make sure that when you open and close your mouth, when you say swing, I want to make sure you understand that you're not swinging it from side to side, because that actually will encourage you to, that can cause problems with your
don't want you to
dislocate your
jaw or cause pain there, but we do want to try and open your mouth wide, maybe a little wider than you're used to, and maybe you spend your day trying to be quiet or discreet around people, but here we want to take a minute to really open the mouth. So all 10 of those zones there, take another minute on your own and address as many of them as you can, so that your face, you're bringing an awareness and a vitality to your face as you do that. One of the things that's sort of axiomatic for me that I'm fond of saying, and Darcy is fond of hearing me say, is that it's no disgrace to use your face.
Oh no, I use that one all the time.
Right, but often in everyday communication, we're just not quite as aware of it. Now, Hope, you were saying that after the workout last time, you were really you were glad to have used your face some more. Is that right?
Yeah, in ways I had never really used it before, which was really nice.
Right.
It's really important, and we don't realize when we're not moving it. So if we just get in the habit of doing that, and when I am working with clients and students, and Scott probably knows this, that I do this, I will just go through one at a time, raising them, raising my eyebrows, lowering the eyebrows. Like, I'll do that 4 times, raise the cheeks 4 times. I just go through it just like I would any kind of exercise. Be very deliberate about it.
Right. So the facial flex is always a good first part of the warm-up. Another thing I want to do, we're not going to necessarily stand and move around in what I've got planned today, but just take a moment, take a good couple of breaths, take in a full breath. And a couple more of those. And one more. And make
let's do the hudda.
Okay,
Can we do the hudda?
Absolutely, sure.
Do you remember the hudda from last week?
Yes.
Yeah, I like this. Scott, do you know the hudda?
Show me.
I'm going to show you. Actually, then you got this in your little hip pocket. This would be a useful one to do. So what we're doing is we're taking that front-facing warrior pose, right? We're squatting. I'm in like a big 4th position plie, and I'm demi plie. 4th position? No. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Second position.
That's
Thank you.
second.
Oh, my stars. It's been a long time. Second position. And my upper arms are parallel to the floor, and my forearms are perpendicular, right? So what you're going to do is allow the breath to come in, and then on the exhale, you're going to say hada. And also on the exhale, you're going to pull that belly button in. Hada, 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 hada. Ready? So we're going to do that for, I don't know, 15 seconds. Really, you want to build up to like a minute, if you can go longer than a minute, but we'll just go for a little bit. And you pick up the pace a little bit. So it'll sound like this. You can do it with me. Hada, 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 hada,
Nice.
Wasn't that good?
What was that, about 60 seconds? About a minute?
I don't know.
You just kind of do it until you start to feel the effects of that. Certainly the things I love about that are the use of the abdominal muscles, and also that you're really oxygenating your blood. You're getting your circulation up a little bit as well. You're really getting your body activated. Even if you're like sitting down in front of a screen like you are now, it certainly is going to be useful to feel those abdominal muscles, make sure you're engaging those abdominal muscles, make sure you've got a little heightened cardiorespiratory activity going on there. You don't want to be in a kind of a neutral or resting state in order to be able to sing and act effectively.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome. I think you're there. I see your photo there. Nice
Yes.
to see you.
Welcome. One of the things about working out as a singing actor is that it's noisy, and also that you're doing things where if you might feel self-conscious if you're in your house or your apartment or your dorm room or whatever, and you're doing that. And that's certainly one of the challenges that everybody is facing right now when we're living. We're isolated from each other, but we're very intimately around our family members all the time. So I hope you're in a place where you feel like you can make noise, or if you're watching this on the replay, that you can get to a place where you have just 15 minutes of privacy to make some noise and to do some things. I want to lead us through a couple of activities today involving some SAVI cards, and to get into them in a little bit more detail. I've got these SAVI cards here, and I'm using these red ones today. You won't actually need to use them because I'm going to put them up on the screen in a way that I think will be helpful to us. But when you're working on your own, the SAVI cards are the different sorts of them are a really interesting way to bring some different kinds of ideas and some different sorts of prompts into the practice room. Because the practice room, you know, if you're just kind of sitting in your spare room or in your bedroom or your shower stall or wherever you were able to get away, there's often not a lot of stimuli there. I'm sharing my screen now to show you the SAVI emotion cards. They have a red back on them, and there are just a few of them in this set here. I've made 11 of these that are 11 common emotions that often we are dealing with in singing and acting. Passion, like romantic passion, disgust, courage, just taking a quick tour of them here, laughter, surprise, tenderness, sadness, shame, fear, joy, and finally, rage. So this is meant to be a kind of a comprehensive set. That is, if you in the course of a workout, if you were to touch on all 11 of these, it would really be good. Just as like an athlete stretches out their muscles, this is a way of stretching out your muscles of expression and also your muscles of imagination. So I'm just going to pick one for a minute and kind of talk through a process that we can use on any of these, and we'll try a couple of these. But let's stay for a moment with the emotion of joy. And I want to invite you in your imagination to think of an occasion, a moment that brought you great joy. right? A moment in your own life, maybe a moment that you saw, you experienced joy because as you watch something in a film or in a movie, an image, a mental picture that you can sum it up in your mind of a moment of great joy. So we want to get the imagination going first. And then along with that, what happens to your face as you start to imagine that? What are the muscles of your face doing? We've gotten the muscles of your face warmed up a little bit, but how is the face involved when you're experiencing joy? And then the breath as well. When you see something and it fills you with joy, take a breath, inhale and exhale. Just how do you, again, you've got your all of those things kind of going together: the imagination, the face, the breath. And take a breath and allow a sound to come out on that breath. What do you sound like? I mean, just say when you make a noise, a joyful noise.
Any noise.
Any sound at all. Don't worry about singing yet, but just about making a sound here. And if you'd like to mute yourself so you can feel uninhibited about making sounds, that would be totally fine. Or make some sounds and we'll hear them if you're not muted. But make a sound. Oh, yes, a sound of joy. And then sustain that a little bit. Let's put a little bit of pitch on that, but still staying with this idea of joy. Maybe we do just up and down over a perfect fifth, singing trying to keep that image in your mind. Right? And taking that joyful breath. Making that joyful face. And one more, intensifying that feeling in the breath and in the face and in the mind as well and in the body, right? So you can go deeper and deeper and really let the word joy, the idea of joy and your experience of joy, color that. Make the vocalies just a little bit more complicated than we would sing. We'll sing some descending thirds, but joyfully. Take that joyful breath, find that joyful face, and repeat. And you're enjoying this, of course. And one more of these. So we've spent just a couple of minutes digging into that card, and as part of a private session, you might want to do several of these. Let's just try another one. Fear is the adjacent one here. And again, if I may, I'd like to talk you through those same steps. We'll start with the mental imagery of fear. If you just allow yourself to remember a situation where you were fearful, where you felt fearful, something that frightened you or something that you saw. Maybe it's not part of your own experience, but something that you saw in a movie or that you saw a photograph of. Maybe you even have a picture of that. You might collect some pictures that go with these and get that in your imagination as well. If your body is fearful, how do you experience that in your body, right? See if you can let your body find that expression of fear. What contracts when you're fearful? What's different about fear in the body compared to joy in the body? And a fearful breath. Take a couple of breaths as well. Notice that when you breathe and you're in a state of fear, that the breath is different. The intake of breath, a little different, and the exhalation as well, a little bit different. Take a couple more fearful breaths and maybe put a sound on the exhale of that. Right, try whatever sounds come out here, not worrying about anything fancy yet.
And you don't have to imitate Charlie. Whatever is coming out of you is what you need to be doing.
Right. If you make the breath a little bit more like a quick or a rapid panting breath, does that intensify the feeling of fear? Try a couple of quick pants and notice that your whole neurological response begins to change. And again, now let's just try an interval of a descending fifth, but taking that fearful breath and singing. I won't sing, I'll just play the pitches. Trying to find that fear in your breath, in your body, and in your imagination. And one more intense. We get a little higher each time. You can do a little bit more. Right? A little bit more breath, a little bit more face, a little bit more body as well. Let's use that vocalese of the descending thirds that we were using a moment ago, but still staying in the territory of fear. Right? And just that panting breath really seems to bring on more of that feeling of fear, and let your face as well support that. Ready? And make me my own. Oh God. Good. Let yourself be really as extreme as you can in going to that place.
Go big, go big.
And express that physically in the breath, and use your imagination, your dramatic imagination to feed that. One more. Good, and let that go. Kind of return to
Shake yourself out.
A neutral space. Yeah. Right. So we've been through a couple of those, and notice the vocal expression, the breath, the face, the body, everything works together. And this is, I think, for me, what's the key to an effective workout for a singing actor in the practice room is not just to go through the motions of making vocal sounds, singing pitches, but really trying to use all of the different mechanisms of expression and get them working in sync.
So in other words, you're not going into the practice room and just singing scales. You're going into the practice room and singing your scales while you are infusing it with feeling. Mm-hmm. Much more fun.
Right. So shall we do one more of these? Just again, there's 11 different ones here. And if you don't have the card set, what you can do is go to the video playback and just pause on the frames here and remind yourself of these. But we'll do one more of these. Again, contrasting tenderness, right? This is something that you might have to sing, or an emotional place that you would certainly have to go in some of the songs that you sing, right? As you sing to your beloved, I love you, you are the most, you are my special angel, right? You know, that you want that, be able to sing that feeling of tenderness. So get yourself in your own mind an image of a person who fills you with feelings of great tenderness, and enjoy that, the experience of that. Notice how your imagination, what you're picturing in your mind, maybe makes your body feel differently than it did when you were fearful a moment ago. It certainly does for me.
And where, not only where, well, how it makes your body feel, but what does it make your body want to do? Like, is there a gesture there that, you know, I don't know, you could play around with that.
Right, certainly. But I want you to.
You're doing that a lot lately.
Well, I like to wash my hands, right? Yeah, not only for hygiene, but also just the tactile experience of this kind of wakes up in my body, kind of makes me think more about my body when I'm practicing. So, you know, doing things like, you know, touching your face, touching your body.
So we did that last week, right? Other. Body, face, partner,
and space. Right, the different kinds of gestures. But even, as I say, just simple things like hand washing or touching your hands to your body or your face kind of stirs your body as we think about tenderness, right? Feelings of tenderness. Oh, you're my precious beloved, right? And breath, what kind of breath comes with that as you allow your imagination to be filled with the image of the person who fills you with feelings of tenderness? How do you breathe? What kind of sounds do you make? Oh, whatever. You make the sounds that suit you. Do that for another 10 seconds or so, and then we'll try and turn that into a little bit of a vocal pattern. What if we try something that's like this? Sorry, I'm playing the piano in the guy's key today. I hope you're able to follow along with sing. Ooh. And if you're singing soft is good here, then really enjoy that softness. Or if you want to expand on that and make it a little louder, you can bring more voice, but keep that imagery, keep that breath, keep that sense in the body. Ooh. And just take one more moment and enjoy that, and then let that go. So we had joy, tenderness, fear. Again, this was, as we scroll through these, just notice, let your imagination and your body and your breath respond to each of these with surprise. Oh, right? Or laughter. The breath of laughter is very different than the breath of tenderness, right? Courage, how you use the sound, how you hold your body is going to be very different there as well. Disgust, right? And where we started in this was passion, right? Passion, desire, whether that's romantic desire, whether that's passion for accomplishing a goal, or what have you. So these emotion cards are a great workout to do, and as you work with them, you go in all sorts of different directions and different sorts of places. I'm going to switch the share here for a moment to a different set of cards and look at these subtext cards for a moment now. So the subtext cards are the yellow cards. If you're seeing in the little thumbnail here, there's a set of yellow cards that look like this, but these are the PDFs, the digital versions of these that I'm sharing with you today. And let's just pick one of these here. These are phrases that I want you to think in your thoughts and then express with your eyes. So you can play using the camera on your laptop, the green dot on your laptop as a partner there, right? So look at the green dot, look at the camera, and then send that message with your face and eyes to the camera, right? No need to say anything, but just think that thought in your inner monologue, right? And then add a little vocal phrase to that. We'll sing many, 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 many more, but you're thinking what it says there. Try that. Really sending that message with your eyes and your face. Relax for a moment. Let me switch to another thought here. Do you understand? Okay. Use the green button of the green light of the camera on your phone or laptop as a place to focus, and then send that message there. As you continue, where were we? Were here many, many more, and many. Do you understand? Do you understand? There are many more. Good. Or sometimes we don't even need a word here. We're just going to hum a little bit. Humming 5 steps down, right? And this is the message that you send with your eyes. Be aware of how your eyes, right? The eyes are really a mirror of the soul here. So what you're singing, sing through your eyes as well as you hum. I can't even
Now,
I have to drop
notice
my gaze when I'm thinking it's not important.
it's not, so it isn't just your eyes, but it's also what the rest of your face is doing, right?
Right. Right. So certainly being able to communicate with eye language is super important in this age when we're often out with our faces, the rest of our faces covered up by a mask.
Are y'all wearing masks?
Yeah. When I go out into into public and I'm masked up, that's when your eyes really can tell, right? Are you friend or foe here? Right. So these subtext cards are a way to get you thinking with your eyes and singing with your eyes, right? One more set of cards, and this time I'm actually going to play with a little bit of repertoire, because it's one thing to do this when you're working with vocalises, but as we come to our last few minutes, I do want to give you an example of how to use these cards with a bit of repertoire, right? So I've got here my third set is for today are the orange cards, the action verbs, and I'm just going to take a short phrase from. Let's take a little phrase of Guys and Dolls, and we'll sing "Luck be a lady tonight," right? And we're going to sing that phrase, but with this action here. Again, as you do this, you'll need a point of focus, an imaginary partner that you're singing to, right? So often in a song, we're either addressing a real partner or an imaginary partner. And the action verb invites you to really do that thing to your imaginary partner. So if the first action is to encourage, what happens if you sing that phrase with that action verb? Go ahead and try it. Right? And then encourage a little bit more, with a little bit more intensity with the face. Right? But what happens if instead of that, we're teaching our imaginary partner, we're teaching Lady Luck how to behave, right? That's a different kind of action. So how does that change the voice? How does that change the face and eyes, the breath, the body as you teach your imaginary partner? Ready, go. Maybe it changes the way you enunciate the words. It's a secret lesson, softly, Luck. But let that choice, that action choice, really animate that phrase. Here's another one, another action verb that's different, that should produce some, again, you're still working with the imaginary partner, you're still working with that phrase from your song, but now you're trying to entice your partner. Come with me, come to me, because that's what I really want. I'm going to try to entice you in. Ready? And come on, Luck. Come on, come on. Right? And let's do one more of this. This is cool. This is fun. Oh, I'm casting a spell. I'm going to actually I'm going to cast a spell over you. So you're going to do my bidding. Ready? And enchant your partner. Luck be a lady tonight. Cast a spell over you. If you know the next phrase, sing it. Luck, if you've ever been a lady. A lady to begin with. Luck, be a lady tonight. And casting a spell on you. Right, so we've just been through a few of these. I have about a dozen action verbs in this set, and as you can see, each one of them, oh, luck, be a lady. Woo, there are different things that you might do behaviorally with each of these. So the SAVI workout in the practice room can not only be done with the kind of vocal exercises that I'm showing here, but also with the kinds or the voice exercises that your voice teacher gives you, but then start to apply it to the repertoire that you're working on, working phrase by phrase. Quite often, it can really be useful to pick a card for one phrase. So, luck be a lady tonight, pleading, but then luck be a lady tonight, flattering, right? And then persuading, luck if you've ever been a lady to begin with, luck be a lady tonight, right? So that the action verb cards, really any of these cards, are a way of making specific choices phrase by phrase. And specific choice making phrase by phrase is really, for me, that's at the heart of effective singing acting. When you're making effective choices and when your body is warmed up and in a good state of flexibility and animation to express those choices, then we really start to get the whole package, not just the beautiful sounds, but also the face, the eyes, the body, and the imagination to support that.
Who's got questions?
Yeah, we got, that's the end of our half hour there. We can hang out for a little while longer. We'd love to answer questions or hear comments from you. If you want to, remember, you can hit the space bar to unmute yourself if you've muted yourself. And please let me know what you're noticing or what you're thinking about what we did today.
This isn't a question, but I live by my cards. I bought them when you came to Summer at SEM, and I love them so much. Like, I feel like my possibilities have opened up in my mind, and I love mapping out my songs with them. And sometimes, honestly, when I try to convey one thing and it ends up being another, and then I find something through that, that's like one of the best surprises with them. So
Isn't that a gift?
yeah,
It's such a gift.
Yeah, hope that's great. I'm really glad that they work for you, and of course, it's really gratifying for you, for me, to hear you say that. So I'm so glad that's working, and keep going with that. Do you ever run into places where you get confused about how to do it?
not necessarily.
Because there's no way you can make a mistake.
Right. It is an approach that invites experimenting and messing around and trying this and trying that.
It's really freeing. I'm not thinking about if I look stupid or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You've really said some very meaningful things that really are affirming ideas that I've had.
He's going to be happy all day.
Yeah. Other questions or comments about what we did today?
I think it's going to be fun to be putting this into the class in the fall, especially with this exercise. You have no choice but to just access whatever this objective is instead of being in your head or kind of adding a lot of that fluff that I know that happens in song interpretation. So I think it's going to be fun to get right to the matter with a lot of this and just flip those cards. And
we do add stuff, don't we? We just, it's like we think we have to, that there's something very complicated or, I don't know, this is just simple.
I think a lot of times we try to see what we look like or what we're performing like through their eyes projected through our own. So it's sort of this, you're looking at the image backwards in your own brain of what do I look like? What do I sound like? Instead of just being right there in the moment.
Yeah, I think that's really true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the impulse to critique and analyze and edit, that uses a very different part of the brain than the part of the brain that is living in the moment and performing and feeling.
Right.
The part of you that plans and edits and judges is different from you than the part of you that feels and expresses. And so there's a trick to getting the students to do the one and not the other. I like, when you can't do this in the classroom, when you're not in a classroom situation, one of the things that you can do is a self-taping or a self-recording kind of thing to just see when, it's like really do it and then go back and look at it and then allow your editing mind, your planning mind, your judging mind to say, that choice there really seemed to be useful to me, but that choice maybe in that other phrase, not so much. And then you can go back and adjust the plan and execute it again. There are really several different processes involved in developing an effective performance.
Yeah.
Well, great. Lisa, I'm glad you joined us. We saw you were there behind your screenshot there, but did you have any questions or comments for us?
I don't have any questions at this point. I just want to say I love you both. I think what you're doing is wonderful in the world, and it's made me a better performer, and I thank you so much.
Is this? Thank you so much. I really love to hear that. Is this your first encounter with any of this?
Well, it's not my first encounter. I've been encountered with your wife many times, and I just adore her.
Oh, okay. You two didn't tell
You know
me.
each other. Well, Lisa went to HPS.
Oh.
That's how I know Lisa.
All right, brilliant.
She's like, a house of fire. When that woman walks in the room, we all go, hey, what's going on?
Yes. And you taught me how to even perfect that more. So I'm grateful to both of you. And yes, your cards are wonderful. And I look forward to continue to use them and to explore different options as we go through this crazy world that we're living in now. So
Great.
Well, that's
I'm
great.
so glad you came today, Lisa. We'll be
Yes,
here
thanks.
every Wednesday, I have a feeling.
Yeah, well, certainly the next few Wednesdays in April and even beyond, depending on what happens. But we'll put the recordings of these up, of the other sessions, and you can access them at your convenience, okay?
Wonderful. Well, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah?
Okay,
All right,
thanks.
then. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being
everybody.
here. And,
Loved it. Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Thanks, Hope.
All right, thank
Bye.
you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.